Ronnie O'Sullivan then preparing for another assault on this UK title. 5 times he's lifted this trophy, bidding to equal the great Steve Davis's tally of 6. And what an occasion, what a task ahead of that young man, Rhys Clark. They have played before, as Ronnie indicated in chatting to Matt, and it was a whitewash 3 years ago at this tournament.
Yeah, make sure them blue lights are off.
Bit of a distraction for Ronnie there. It's the blue lights up above that are right in his line of vision as he prepares to break off, so we've got a bit of technical stuff to sort out before we get underway here. Another packed crowd here at the Barbican, and a lot of them of course have come to see O'Sullivan strut his stuff. But as Ronnie said, Joe, Rhys Clark, 3 years older and wiser, and he's had some decent wins.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, 3 years ago he was only 19. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, well, he can destroy anybody, can't he?
Okay,
so it's no big surprise that he beat the youngster 6-0. But 3 years is a long time in snooker. And he's, as you say, he's had some good wins, Rhys Clark.
Beat Ken Doherty 5-0 last season in the China Open. Mark Davis, former world champion Graham Dott. Andrew Higginson, who's also a former ranking finalist. So he's had some decent wins. But this is a very different proposition today.
Had a good win in the last round. Beat Li Hang 6-5. Li Hang, one of the up-and-coming Chinese boys. So that mistake, failed snooker escape, gives Ronnie O'Sullivan a chance. He won't like that he's covered the black up straight away. Well, that's the black free within one shot, and he is on a red to the right corner. Could have played for the loose red here, the red to the middle, but chose to go into that pack of red straight away. And it's something that I think the top players should do when they're playing lesser ranked players. I think they should attack the balls. Some of the top players tend to play as though they're playing the top 4 player and get caught up in the safety. Not Ronnie O'Sullivan.
8.
He wants to play an attacking game, a scoring game where you have to go for the balls.
Yes, when you're as good as O'Sullivan,
11.
the onus is on you to impose your game on your opponent. Don't worry about what they're doing, just play your own game, and more often than not, that will win the day. Stuart Bingham tried to do that last evening against Udaloo, but just couldn't find any consistency and ended up losing. He was visibly upset about it at the end of the match. 6-4 loss to the Chinese.
15.
Yes, attempting to go into that pack of reds again. Bring more reds into play. Could have finished on the pink very easily. It's a thin cut on the black. It's there. Excellent shot. Made that look so easy.
23.
20. Another
24.
excellent recovery shot. The style of Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well,
He's played for this plant. And could have finished better. It's a tough blue if he decides to take it on. Right in the middle. What a start this is from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Already knocked 2 or 3
37.
good pressure balls in. Not a good sign for Rhys Clark. Oh, well, after doing all the hard work, he misses a sitter. But fortunately, he hasn't left the red on for Rhys Clark. Fully expected him to get that one. That was an ambitious shot, especially with that red over that bottom corner. Yeah, good pot. Didn't intend that cannon on the blue. What a day this is for Rhys Clark. UK Championships on the main table. Playing Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Only turned pro last year when he played O'Sullivan at the UK 3 years ago. He was still an amateur. Currently ranked at 73, or rather at 77, his highest. 73 earlier this year, so this is a huge occasion, unquestionably. Can he do himself justice?
Well, that's an excellent shot. And it was from Ronnie O'Sullivan going too hard into that pack of reds. Misjudged the speed or the bounce off the cushion. Left that chance for Rhys. Not ideally on the black. But he's potted it. I think these are good signs from Rhys Clark. Decided to have a go.
8.
And try and enjoy himself out there. Choice of green or yellow. And again, like the way he played that shot, give himself a chance of 3 reds there, the way he played it. Could have played the green, which was an easier pot.
Thank you.
But it would have just been playing for 1 red. chance this. Just one safe red. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I detected a small kick there, but either way, it's a bad miss.
That's a pity for Clark. It was a good opportunity.
One. Eight.
Well, that could have gone better. Cue ball tanked to the cushion. This is a tough one.
Nine.
And again, he's a little unfortunate there. Potted it well. And that cue ball crept in behind the red. Can't see the blue. Pink, very difficult. And so is the black. Great pot. What a great pot that was. Cue ball needs to slow down though.
15.
What a terrific pot and positional shot that was.
Red in the colour, and Ronnie O'Sullivan should safely snaffle this opening frame.
16.
Yes, it's been a good opening frame. Both players had chances. Rhys Clark, I don't know if he got a kick there on that easy red he missed. But it was a good chance for him. This is the shot again. It just seemed to straighten up. Didn't bounce, but just seemed to straighten up.
24.
Red.
$29. 30. $35. 37. 37.
Two breaks for 37 for Ronnie O'Sullivan, sufficient to take the opening frame. Rhys Clark did have an opportunity, missed that short range red, may have got a slight kick, but it's the Rocket who fires first. He leads by a frame to nil. First to 6, of course, to progress to the round of 32. Not the best break-off.
Now he's brought the red down the table, and there's also a red to the left corner. Just didn't get enough screw into the cue ball.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Ding Junhui has taken the opening frame against Ross Muir on table 2. Remember, you can watch that on the player. the Eurosport player. Mark Allen back in action against Rod Lawler. Allen's taken the opening frame there. Yang Bingtao is 1-0 up on Liang Wenbo.
Well, that was some distance away, and he didn't pull the cue ball back. Now, has he got lucky? He'd left an easy red to the right corner till that red came down the table and blocked it. And maybe a red to the right middle. Well, there's a stroke of luck there for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, put everything into that shot, knew he was leaving a red on, and that could be very expensive. It's good to see him going for his shots. Have to get more than you miss, I'm afraid, when you're playing Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Liang Wenbo watching in the background there, and of course Ronnie and Liang are very close. Ronnie has become something of a mentor to last year's UK finalist and reigning English Open champion.
Six. Seven.
Oh, what a cheeky shot that was, using the knuckle of the middle pocket
12.
to come down for this red. Took the risk on the enough there.
13.
The red that's closest to this black cushion is the one stopping the black going in that same pocket.
Seventeen. 18. 25. 26. 33. 34.
67, the magic number as things stand for O'Sullivan to leave Rhys Clark needing a snooker in the second frame. And I guess at this stage of his career, Joe, it's all about
41.
the legacy for O'Sullivan, isn't it? He wants to add some more of these really big titles to his CV before he eventually packs away his cue for good. He's on 5 UK, 5 World and now 6 Masters titles. He's matched Hendry's tally of Masters crowns. He'd love to match Davis's tally of UK crowns.
Yes, and he's still playing well enough, isn't he? Average shot time there, 15 seconds for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
50.
That's pretty quick.
Turns 41 next month. Enough to make us all feel old.
57.
Has a red to the middle. Expected something easier than this, but he should be okay.
58.
Couldn't get the right side of the blue, so having to play a longer red than he would have done. Just needs the red.
63.
And as per usual, in no time at all, O'Sullivan is at the winning line.
64.
Applause for frame ball. And he actually profited from missing that long red by quite a margin. Rhys Clark unable to take advantage.
71.
Went for a tricky red and left O'Sullivan in. This is the result.
72.
Yes, and that's what I was saying earlier about the top players attacking the game. If he doesn't take that long red onto the baulk corner, plays the safety, we get involved in the safety battle, of which I'm sure
77.
Rhys Clark is very proficient at. But because he went for that long red, missed it,
78.
Rhys missed, he's O'Sullivan straight back in again. Forcing the potting game on your opponent.
85.
Closing in on career century 845.
$91. 92.
And he's taken these quite beautifully.
98.
Said right at the beginning of the match that he was queuing well, and they know also now.
From one artist to another, Damien Hirst sent a picture there,
103.
nodding his approval. Big friends with O'Sullivan, of
107.
course.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 112.
Another slab of Ronnie O'Sullivan brilliance there. Rhys Clark punished for failing to pot the red. Spent the rest of the frame in his chair. O'Sullivan with yet another century to double his lead. He leads 2-0. Championship leading Rhys Clark already by 2 frames to nil. A break of 108. 112, sorry, in the previous frame. A couple of 37s in the first. Clark has had a couple of half chances, but he's been punished to the full for failing to take them. Ding Junhui still 1-0 up on Ross Muir on table 2. Mark Allen likewise leading Rod Lawler 1-0. Sullivan was talking about his tip ahead of this match, but it seems to be functioning pretty well thus far.
Well, that's unfortunate. Took the long red on, but that double kiss would have been okay without the double kiss.
One.
That's gone wrong though.
Yeah, it seemed to be a big bounce off that black cushion there. A little nod of the head from Ronnie O'Sullivan. So, chance for Rhys Clark.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Went for that long red and didn't pay the price. You don't always pay the price. Seemed to spring off that cushion. Switch to right-handed.
1. Eight.
Oh, what an attacking shot that was, to play against somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's just knocked in a century break. He's got to follow it up now, though.
Yeah, I think the tactic is spot on. He has to go for it. It's just a question of whether he can execute. Kyron Wilson made exactly the same point at the Northern Ireland Open when he beat O'Sullivan. But you have to play your own game. You have to take the game to Ronnie, otherwise you'll be swamped.
15. Sixteen.
Another very attacking shot going into the cluster.
23.
He's on reds.
24.
Again, it seemed to spring off that black cushion.
31.
It's just gone a little further than he played. Played for the red to the right corner. He's still on it, but wanted to be straighter on the red. Started this break by switching to a right-handed play.
He's very new to the professional circuit, Rhys Clark, so this is all part of the learning curve for him, but he looks like a player who believes in his game.
Yeah, he didn't catch that one as he wanted, though. Potted the black thin, so the cue ball didn't come back straight. Look, it went in off that left-hand jaw. If it had gone in the middle of the pocket, the cue ball would have took a different line. And although he is new to the game, Philip, he's been into the last 16 of 2 events. Well, didn't play to hit the angle of that middle pocket. Would have been nicely on a bought colour without that.
Yeah, European Masters and the English Open this year. He made a round of 16. Encouraging start to his first full year as a pro.
And again, what an attacking shot that was. I expected him to play safe there. Needs to slow down though. Well, that is so unfortunate if he's not on a red. That was a super shot on the brown. Well, he can pot this red, but would have liked to have been on an easier one.
Rhys Clark, 44.
Warm applause though for that break, because it was full of good intent, wasn't it?
Yeah, didn't get away with it though, I was about to say. Them type of shots, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't.
Sullivan back in then, 42 adrift. Still plenty of reds there.
tempted to bring that safe red into play, which he has
14.
done. And it's very tight, that. Just goes, but it's very tight. Took it off the angle.
15.
And now every chance of winning this frame. Had to take it off that inside angle. That's how accurate he was on that shot. Overrun again for the shot he played. May have to take the red to the middle.
$21.
Well, is he on a red?
27.
He's not on the easy. I don't think he's on the easy red he played for this one. Yes, he is.
28. $35.
Beginning to look ominous again for Rhys Clark. It was a nice little 40-plus break that he put together before missing. Will he get another chance?
36. $42. $43.
Played up for the green. Easier to get to that red.
Yeah, just don't move, please. Thank you.
It's not straightforward, this blue, but if he gets it right, could well be a frame winner.
And he's got it right.
48. $49. $52. 54.
Rhys Clark has shown glimpses of the talent that he clearly possesses, but you need more than glimpses against Ronnie O'Sullivan, playing as well as he is
57.
so far today. He has been clinical in punishing Clark's mistakes.
61.
Another look at the scoreboard will confirm that this blue will make the frame ultra safe. And it's going to be 9 frames out of 9 for O'Sullivan against Clark. Beat him 6-0 3 years ago
72.
here, and is already halfway to a place in the next round. Another sublime clearance from O'Sullivan after Rhys Clark got him first. Mr. Tricky Red. That was his last shot of the frame. O'Sullivan looking dominant. He's now leading by 3 frames to 0. He needs 3 more for victory. Ross Muir. Ding took the opening frame. can enjoy this, of course, right now on the Eurosport Player. But what a great long pot that was from Muir, who's managed to level at 1 apiece. Needs another good one from close to the side cushion. And Ding does tend to be that little bit more vulnerable, Joe, in the early rounds. He only just scraped through in the pre-televised stages here, beating Igor Figueroa 6-5.
Yes, he does seem to struggle in the early rounds, but we're back on the main table now. I'm sure we'll pick that one up later.
Yes, we'll keep you in touch with developments there. And of course, once Ding does get over those tricky early hurdles, he becomes more and more dangerous. He won the Shanghai Masters this season, having very nearly lost in his opening match to Scott Donaldson. Rhys Clark with a lot of work to do.
Well, feel sure he'll take this red on to the right corner. Tough red. 3-0 down.
Definitely did take it on, but didn't get anywhere close.
Yeah, when you play it at that speed, there's every chance that the cue ball will slightly run off. And I think that's what happened there. And that's a let-off. I expected him to pot that. He's left a tricky red to the baulk corner for Rhys, if he wants to take it on.
Perhaps rushing just a little bit at the moment, Joe?
Yeah, he's trying to get in, isn't he? And he's a very natural player, and that's the way he plays the game. Got to try and just temper that with maybe just a little bit of thought behind the shot.
Too thin.
Yeah, he's got away with it though, and that's what he needs. He needs to be able to go for a couple of shots and get away with it if they don't go in. Red's going close to the other baulk corner, but it's run safe-ish. Well, that's a good white. That's a good cue ball, and that's where it needs to be. And that gives Ronnie O'Sullivan something to think about.
Yeah, a little tap on the table there from O'Sullivan. He recognised that was good safety from Clark. Let's just bring you up to date with developments on our 7 outside tables. Just checked in with Ding and Ross Muir, 1 apiece there. Mark Allen and Rod Lawler also level at 1-1. Likewise, Yan and Liang. Maisie Wen against Martin Gould is 1-1 as well. Ben Wollaston's taken the opening frame against Davison. Dave Gilbert 1 up on Mark Joyce and Dave, beg your pardon, Ben Wollaston 1-0 up on Paul Davis.
Yes, he was forced into taking that red on. Rhys Clark had O'Sullivan in trouble there, and you could say that O'Sullivan's been a bit unfortunate, potting that great red to the middle, but the kiss wasn't favourable. So still in a little bit of bother here. Green and yellow, both tough.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
The mid-session interval coming up after this frame, of course. Rhys Clark would dearly love to get his first ever frame against Ronnie O'Sullivan on the board, just to give himself a bit of belief. Again, not holding back.
It was a good attempt, but very, very risky.
Well, he's not going to die wondering today. He's going for it at every opportunity. O'Sullivan is a past master at punishing his opponent's errors. He's done it in the first 3 frames. Will he do it again here?
Took the opportunity to go into them, and he's on a couple of reds. I'd like to take that one because that's blocking the black going in his pocket. And that could have gone better. He doesn't like that. Had to be so careful there about pushing it.
12. $13. $18. 19.
Now a little switch to left-handed.
24. $25. $28. 29.
Yeah, very Came very close to missing that one.
And even though it disappeared, he was cross with himself. Never the perfectionist, O'Sullivan. But for Rhys Clark, this must have a feeling of Groundhog Day. Potting error. And then sitting out the rest of the frame as a result. It's looking like that kind of scenario once more in this fourth frame.
42.
Pretty close to the winning line already, as you can see there.
43.
It's been brief and it's been clinical.
50. 51.
Yes, you just can't afford to give Ronnie O'Sullivan the amount of chances he's getting from Rhys Clark. Okay, if the reds have gone in, or the balls have gone in that Rhys had played, may well have been his. He's missed a couple of easy ones.
And a couple of quite difficult ones as well. He's certainly been ultra positive, Clark, but he's got nothing to show for it.
56.
Quick change to the left hand. Easy as shelling peas.
57.
And it's alarmingly brief from the Scotsman's point of view. So far, anyway. Just as their first encounter was 3 years ago.
64.
A lot of snooker water under the bridge since then, but
65.
a worryingly similar trend for the underdog. Breaks of 37 and 37 in the opening frame, and then 112, 79. And now this contribution.
73.
Michael Georgiou awaiting the winner of this one in the round of 32.
$78. 79. 81.
Another century looms then if O'Sullivan can pop this red in.
82.
He is cueing so well.
Well, cued that one just a little bit too well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 82.
Not a century this time, but 82 will do very nicely, thank you, for Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's in a hurry. He's in seriously good form. And Rhys Clark, who's gone for his balls but hasn't potted enough of them, trails 4-0 at the break.
Thank you, 25. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, it's been something of a no contest thus far. Not really a heavyweight duel. Indeed, if it was in a boxing ring, it would have been stopped, because it's been all Ronnie O'Sullivan, really. Rhys Clark, to his credit, has gone for his shots. He's tried to be positive. That's the only way he can do any damage, but he needs to start taking the chances he's had if he's to make any inroads here. O'Sullivan already, after just over 3/4 of an hour, 2 frames away from the winning post.
Yes, and the heavy breather here. Same, what a bad kiss on the blue that was for Rhys Clark. Lots of right hand side on the cue ball there to swing it past the black and give himself a chance at this black to the right corner. Look at the side on the cue ball. Could have done with being a little bit harder. Yep, don't get them all. That was tough. And could have left something easier for Rhys Clark. Just to show he can play good safety as well.
Ding has managed to level his match on table 2, by the way, with Ross Muir. They're just into their mid-session break at 2 apiece.
Well, I brought the red down the table but managed to cover it, and this is a little bit of trouble. If you decide to take the cue ball back down the table, got to be aware of that red. So easy to leave that red on. Any cannon with the baulk colour leaves the red on, and that's why it's just played into the cluster.
Those stats not making happy reading for Clark. O'Sullivan is bossing proceedings in all departments at the moment. He's monopolised the table. He's looked very sharp. Looking to get it done with a minimum of fuss.
Well, he's got the shot here to try and get that cue ball in behind the blue.
Damien Hirst watching on, big snooker fan, big Ronnie O'Sullivan fan.
Caught it much too thin. That's a mistake. Again, little switch to left-handed.
Eight. Nine.
May have played for the black, but knew he was always going to be on the pink if he didn't quite come far enough.
$15. 60.
Yeah, just didn't get the right side of the pink. Too much screw on the cue ball.
$22. 23.
Similar kind of shot, and this time he's going to have to go in and out of boat to come back down for the reds. And just got a little bit too much screw on the cue ball.
29.
But what about that for a recovery shot? And that's not a bad kiss on the pink, especially with the red going over that right corner pocket.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 30.
Well, must have fouled on the red.
Rhys Clark 6.
Leaning over the red, addressing the pink. May have just touched it. And eagle high, Jan Verhaest, look, he's there right on the shot. So, an unexpected chance for Rhys Clark. The ball's nicely situated.
1.
Choice of pink or black.
Seven. Eight.
Yeah, I could have just done with coming a little further down onto the black. Maybe able to play the cannon to those two reds and hold for the red to the left corner. Something like that.
$15.
Yeah, just caught that near knuckle,
15.
and that's just table time he hasn't had.
That's been the story of the match, really. Rhys Clark has had a few chances, but just hasn't been able to score from them. And this is suddenly looking very ominous again.
9.
No, I can't see him surviving this one. Doesn't need that safe red on the left side cushion.
70. $24. 25. 32.
So just the red and the colour. We'll see him to a 5-0 lead.
He's been given a lot of chances this afternoon,
40.
O'Sullivan, but you have to credit the way in which he's taken them with both hands on virtually every occasion. Only that unexpected foul with his waistcoat on the red stopped him in his tracks earlier in this frame.
47.
He didn't have to wait long for another opportunity, and he's taken that one to the full.
And
this is going to be his 11th straight frame against Rhys Clark, threatening a second whitewash. Not the afternoon he had in mind. It was always going to be a very tall order, perhaps a little intimidated by his opponent, which is understandable.
59.
He's tried to be positive, but it's not worked out for him.
63.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, full marks for taking the game to Ronnie O'Sullivan. But you've got to get them. Can't afford to miss them easy ones.
74.
It's another terrific break, though. Another superb clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan after Rhys Clark missed a relatively straightforward red, but he's had so little table time, it's perhaps understandable. O'Sullivan, though, relentless and merciless as he moves 5-0 to the good. As a 17-year-old against Stephen Hendry to announce his extraordinary talent to the world. And I guess it's the sustained excellence which is one of the features of O'Sullivan's extraordinary career. The fact that nearly a quarter of a century on from that great moment, he is still producing snooker of this calibre and is still the man to beat in any tournament he enters. 112, 82, 81, 79, the highlights today, and already a frame away from the next round.
Yes, Rhys Clark being bombarded with all those big breaks that Philip just mentioned. But something for him to remember this match, and something for him to look forward to, because I'm sure he'll be back if he does lose this match. Yes, he's left a little tempter with this red to the baulk corner, and he's just seeing where he'd like to be on the black and cover that red, because the black looks as though it will go. It's tight, but he's got to cover the red next to the black if he takes this red on to the yellow pocket. Wasn't far away, but it has covered the red. Caught it much too thin. Again, it wasn't very far away. He was on the black, and he hasn't left anything. Nothing easy anyway. Well, just played that a little bit nonchalant. Nearly left the red to the middle. Great pot. That's a great pot. To say what had happened to him, he had an easy safety shot with that red near the black. But chose to play the positive shot again, and it's gone in, and he's got another chance. Maybe come down for that red by the black. That clears the way for the black coming back onto its spot.
6.
And again, he could have just done with it another couple of inches harder. He's too high.
Rhys Clark 6.
He's covered the red, but he's left the red to the left centre, I think.
Knew as soon as he hit it that he got it wrong. Well, it can be a very difficult place to be, snooker arena, when you're struggling as Rhys Clark is right now and you're being steamrollered by one of the all-time greats.
Yes, he wanted to catch it cushion first, which would have brought the cue ball out for the black. Well, that's an excellent pot on the black. That was a tough pot. But I suppose when you're 5-0 up, you can afford to go for them, and it's worked out really nicely.
9.
Is this the beginning of the end then? Rhys Clark will fear the worst, the way O'Sullivan's been queuing and scoring when he's had the chance. Could scarcely have had a tougher assignment in the second round. But he is very wet behind the ears as a pro. He's made an encouraging start to his career with those last 16 appearances at the European Masters and the English Open.
$24. 25.
Yes, great experience for him. Meanwhile, running off that a little straight.
32.
But judge that one well.
33. 40. 41.
I'm a bit surprised. Sullivan's pop percentage success is only 92. Only, I say. 92 is very good,
48.
but he hasn't missed many today.
49.
Not quite as good from long range as usual. Although most of the time he's been getting in at close range, so I don't think he's had many long range pots to take on.
55. 56.
It's been very brisk, just a shade over an hour and 10 minutes of playing time. With a very commanding start in front of the
63.
TV lights to Ronnie O'Sullivan's bid for a record equaling 6th
64.
UK title. Michael Georgiou may well be watching on somewhere. I don't think he'll be enjoying this
72.
overly. He's going to be Ronnie's next opponent. Rhys Clark certainly hasn't enjoyed it, but it's all part of the learning experience for him in his fledgling professional career.
78.
O'Sullivan scheduled to be back on the table tomorrow afternoon against Georgiou. And of course we'll bring you that match live
79.
and in full. He's going to take some stopping if he maintains this kind of form.
Yes, he's had chances, but he's took them, hasn't he? With all those big breaks.
85.
5 breaks over 80. That's some playing.
86.
Ruthlessly efficient.
A quick switch to left-handed. Stunning round the 2 cushions. Look at this for a shot. Stunning round the 2 cushions. Got
92.
the line absolutely right.
Hey, the second century of the match is still on, and even Rhys Clark can afford himself a little smile about that. He hasn't had much to smile about this afternoon.
Now look at this for a positional shot.
90.
Just the right amount of left-hand side on the cue ball. What a shot that was.
The crowd want the century, and they're going to get it now.
99.
There'll be a big roar for this blue. Great entertainment for a capacity Barbican crowd. O'Sullivan on fire.
106.
The rocket boosters somewhere near maximum.
109.
Well, you won't have to play Ronnie in every tournament.
130. 180.
The highest break of the tournament so far is by Mark King, the new Northern Ireland Open champion, who bowed out in the first round against Sam Craigie but made a 1-4-1 before he did so. And O'Sullivan could do no wrong at the moment. That's his second fluke of the century break. Even when he's wrong, he's right. But it's a great performance overall from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He scored exceptionally heavily, and he has brushed aside the challenge of Rhys Clark in less than an hour and a quarter. It's a second consecutive 6-0 whitewash of Clark by Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's through to the round of 32, 6-0.